great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. It is indeed another Thankful Thursday as we invite you to be a part of our discussion. There's going to be some open line. Now, a quick reminder. The daily press briefing will be at 3 p.m. today. But we invite you to take an opportunity and share with us your thoughts by calling us 949-8037 or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile. Saving lives today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
And good afternoon. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We invite you to call, share your thoughts, whether it's on this pandemic that the globe is experiencing. You may have friends and family who live in other countries. This may be in your home forever. And we certainly want you to share your thoughts. We've got some WhatsApps to read. But first, we want to welcome Pastor Torrance Bob from the Cayman Ministers Association to share with us. Good afternoon, Pastor. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, it's always a pleasure. And before I ask, maybe I'll invite you to share with us. I know that we're seeing the community and the church community in particular continually starting to step up and rally together, recognizing that through faith, out in the community, we can lead that with our continued prayers, as it were.
Yes, certainly. And we certainly want to continue partnering with the government and the residents of these islands, because we believe that the government is doing a very good job. And we as residents, we must cooperate with them, observing the guidelines that they have given. I think we are doing exceptionally well. I also believe, and this, of course, the sentiment is shared by the pastors of this nation, that we have to continue to look to God for help and guidance. And so in this connection, 72-hour prayer and fasting initiative called Pray Cayman has been arranged, and it commences at 6 p.m. this evening, and it runs right through continuously to 6 p.m. on Sunday evening. And so listeners can follow on YouTube. They can tune in by just typing in Pray Cayman, and they'll be able to follow during that entire 72-hour period. We have many cooperating churches that will be logging in every hour, and on the half hour, they're logging in on Zoom, but of course, listeners and viewers will be able to tune in on YouTube, Pray Cayman, to follow that prayer. What we are asking? We are asking for as many persons as possible here in the Cayman Islands. It doesn't matter their church or denomination. We are asking for everyone to pray and to seek the face of God to help us in this crisis. We see biblical precedent. We see secular history precedent. When, of course, the Second World War was taking place, when King George VI called upon the people of Great Britain to pray, and for 3 days they prayed and they sought the face of God. And the fortunes of the war significantly changed because the people prayed. We see many biblical examples when people fasted and prayed, how God intervened. So what we're asking is if people can fast a meal, a day, or whatever time they can fast. If they can't even fast, that's okay. But let us all pray and seek the face of God, asking for God's intervention, granting wisdom to our leaders, granting protection to our frontline workers, protecting our citizens, providing for them, and stopping this coronavirus. So this is the purpose of this 72-hour prayer, so that our residents will call upon God for help and for his intervention in this situation.
And I will remind you of the scriptures, if my people, will humble themselves. And so with that, if I may ask, for those who for some reason may not understand what fasting means, you were saying either for the day or even for a meal, could I respectfully ask just to quickly give us an overview and explanation as to what, if they wanted to pray and fast, what that would mean, or what they would be sort of being asked to do?
Well, thank you very much. And this is why we really would like to direct people to the website, Pray Cayman. It gives a much detailed explanation on the matter of fasting. But in brief, when we fast, we are denying ourselves of legitimate bodily needs to take that time to seek the face of God, asking him for help in our particular situation. Of course, we see this example in the book of Esther, when the Jewish people were facing genocide. They called a 3-day fast. The people sought the face of God. God intervened, and the situation was averted. We see a similar situation when the Assyrian capital, Nineveh, they were faced by destruction, and the king called for a 3-day fast. No one ate or drank anything for 3 days. And God intervened, and the situation was averted. So that in fasting, we deny ourselves legitimate bodily needs. Of course, when we are fasting, especially if you're fasting for more than a day, I think it's important to drink water, to drink an adequate amount of pure water, because the body does need water. Persons with medical conditions, they should check with their doctors, and a lot of times it's not advisable for them to fast. As I said, we do have these directives given on the website, Pray Cayman.
Yeah, and this is it, I think perhaps too many of us now that we live in this modern, 21st century, they are not as conscious of our biblical times where the prayer and fasting and the impact. But as you shared, just the recent example of World War II, historically we can look at it and see the importance and the positive impact and outcome of prayer and fasting. We're supposed to be a Christian nation, a praying people, to see our politicians and our public leaders so publicly demonstrate their faith is encouraging.
Yes, I think we are very blessed to live in a country like this where there's that fear of God nationally, and it's something that we should continue to encourage because, the scripture does tell us righteousness exalts a nation. When the people honor God, God honors them, and I don't think it is without significance that God has spared us through the years from so many natural disasters, not because we're a better people than any other nation, but I think our people are seeking the face of God, and this is something we have to continue to do.
I was just, as we were listening, looking at a WhatsApp message of Pastor Bob from an individual that is sort of relaying sentiments that for some of us, it's only when in the face of adversity, it's only when, we feel a great sense of fear and a sense of, my word, trial and tribulation that we've sort of experienced now, that we turn to God. But the comment is that at least, we haven't forgotten. And if that's what it takes, then maybe it's a return as a nation, to our spiritual heritage and the roots that has grounded us. As I read this message I've sent through. So what would you say to that? That, better late than never?
Yeah, better late than never, certainly. And you know, the wonderful thing about God, yes, He's a God of judgment, but He's also a God of mercy. You look at the thief on the cross when he, at the last moment, he said, Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. And Jesus said, today you will be with me in paradise. So God is a very merciful God. At any stage we call upon Him, He will answer us. Of course, it's better to go early than to go late, but whenever we go, of course, once we are able to go, God will answer us. But I don't think we should just take this for granted and just go to God only in times of need. You know, God likes to fellowship with us. He likes our presence. That's why God created us, because He loves us. As a matter of fact, He wants us to spend eternity with Him. That's how much He loves us. So that I believe it's a good time to get familiar with God during this lifetime. Don't wait until the end of your days. The scripture says, remember, you're created in the days of youth. So now is the time for us to get familiar with God, to commit our lives to Christ, to become familiar with God, to live for Him, to use our talents and our energies to bring others to Him, so that God is merciful and He will hear us whenever we call upon Him in the name of Jesus.
Amen. You know, and then I'm looking at another, and thank you, Pastor Wall, for coming on, because you've inspired several comments. If I may just quickly share this one. This individual via WhatsApp is saying that, you know, one, again, I just quickly paraphrase, but I might want to quote one section of it if I can, saying that in this time it's good to see the nation, and in particular the leadership within the church, a semblance of, you know, spiritual unification. No longer are we looking at denominations or the Christian divide, but instead a unified nation through prayer. Kudos, it says, kudos to, and then it references the Honorable Health Minister, you know, for his daily scriptures and for the churches for stepping up. So I think as I read this, as an individual that is recognizing the need for us as a nation to be prayerful.
Yes, certainly. And thank God for the cooperation we're getting for this 72-hour prayer Pray Cayman initiative. We have the vast majority of churches involved in it, and it's going to be continuous prayer for 72 hours. So we have actually 24 churches that will be coming in, zooming in the Zoom room. They're going to be praying continuously. And people are going to be able to log in on the Pray Cayman website, and they're going to be able to follow. So there's broad-based cooperation, broad-based prayer that is taking place, and I think we've got to be very thankful for that. And of course, when we pray, we have to believe that God is going to hear us and answer.
Well, amen. You know, as we're reminded, you know, pray, seek, you know, seek ye first the kingdom of God. And I think as I listen to what you're sharing, and as I look back on quickly some of this sort of sentiment here is expressed in these two WhatsApp messages quickly, it reminds us that we don't have, as you shared, to be fearful or to be destroyed if we are reminded, you know, of our spiritual heritage and the promises from on high. So 72 hours continual prayer. All we have to do is log on and pray. There's really, come as you are, there's really no other great expectation of you than to be faithful and committed to your prayer.
Yes. And, you know, as I said, people, they can follow on YouTube, Pray Cayman. They can follow, they can pray along with us. And I think we should not underestimate the impact of this virus, and we have to take it very seriously. I mean, there are nations that are bigger than us, stronger than us, and look what they are facing. And therefore, we can't take things for granted. We have to seriously, intentionally seek the face of God and call upon Him for help. We have to do that. We cannot take things for granted and figure that everything is going to be all right. No, we have to be very intentional in praying and in doing all that we can.
Well, that's the thing, you see. I think if we were to, as you shared, you know, be mindful to use the resources that we have before us, and including the idea that prayer is real, prayer is effective, but we have to, you know, take action and pray. So, one quick other email question, if I may ask of you. This person writes and asks, are there specific scriptures and/or prayers that you ask in I guess the nation, the public, to share, or is it just pray, seeking provision and protection?
Right. Again, we are directing people to the website, Pray Cayman, because we do have a few pages that will give scripture and will give the format that people should follow. And so
Okay.
the website Pray Cayman, they will get a lot of.
Okay, so Pastor Bob, oh, my apologies. I think I may have hit the button, Miss Susan, and I'm not hearing Pastor Bob. 1 second. Right. So as we, yeah, okay, yeah. Can you hear me now, Pastor Bob? 'Cause
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
yeah, I apologize. I sometimes. All right. So as you said, go to the website, and then we have a nation committed to. There's only 72 hours. Perhaps some of us, we would be mindful that it was 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. Or this is just 3 days of committed prayer by a Christian people.
Yes, and I believe and I know it's going to make a difference.
Amen to that. I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I trust and pray that as you share, this will not just be for now, but this will be the return for all of us in Cayman and the globe equally, to go back and recognize and give thanks and appreciate that the way forward needs to be a reminder of how we got where we are with our scriptural spiritual foundation. Any other thoughts, Pastor Bob? That you may
Yeah, let me
want to
just say this, and thank you for this opportunity. But I was thinking just yesterday. Here is it: we are prepared to make certain sacrifices for our human life to spare our lives, to prevent us contracting or succumbing from this disease. But yet, on the other hand, when it comes to living eternally with God, sometimes we are not prepared to make sacrifices in this life. As Jesus says, if we're going to follow him, we have to take up our cross, deny ourselves, and follow him. So maybe learn a lesson from this, that if we're going to have long-term gains, sometimes there's pain involved before those long-term gains come.
Okay. Well, I certainly, believe that if you're going to get anything, you can't have success without an element of sacrifice. Whether that's passing the exam and you got to spend a little time to study, a little less time watching TV. If you want to exercise and get in shape, well, you got to make the time to do it. Hey, thank you very, very much, sir. So as of this evening, we will start 72 hours of sustained prayer and fasting.
Yes, and on all the radio stations at 5 minutes to 6, we're going to be playing a call to prayer.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed, sir. All right.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless our
God
nation.
bless. Amen to that. Well, let's pause quickly and take a break. It is open line, so we'll invite all our callers to share. When we come back, we'll go straight to the phones. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Start getting your debt under control with a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank. At Fidelity, your loan decision is quick with no runaround. Plus, with competitive interest rates and fees, we will help you reduce your monthly payments and get you back to living again. Don't let the burden of overwhelming debt tie you down this year. Call Fidelity today and let's make it happen with a Fidelity Bank debt consolidation loan. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Bring a little bit of luck to your house with Lucky Slice from America. Burgers, steak, and the all-day American breakfast. From Europe, fish and chips, pizza and crepes. And from Asia, sushi.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, 7 days a week, delivery or pickup, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. In these difficult times, we can all use a little bit of luck. Keep calm and stay lucky.
Minimize contact. Make your credit card payment by phone. Pay only for food. No delivery fee. No service charge. Certain restrictions apply. Call Lucky Slice Pizza to place your delivery order now. 949-3456.
Order from Cayman Creperie, Mojo Sushi, and Lucky Slice Pizza. Call 949-3456.
Hello, Cayman. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out.
Essential staff, police officers, immigration, customs, doctors, nurses, first responders, they are essential staff. So if you got to ask, then you ain't. Una got it now? If Una want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information, the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Caymankind.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up to date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
The public is advised that all public beaches will be closed throughout the Cayman Islands for a full 24-hour hard curfew from the 17th of April to 5 a.m. 1st of May 2020. This means persons are prohibited from entering on, walking, swimming, snorkeling, fishing, exercising, or any type of activity on any public beach during these times. Private owners with beach access are not permitted beyond the high water mark. Stay home to save lives, Cayman.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. It is open line here on this edition of Talk Today. Remember, the daily press briefing is scheduled for 3 p.m. today. Not 2, but 3 p.m. And it's open line. Got a couple of WhatsApps to read, but we also have some callers. So let's go to our phones first. Good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Hey, the singing sensation himself. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Well, hello there, Brother Sterling. How are you doing?
Sir, I am very thankful, man, and I trust that all is well with you despite everything we're facing.
Yeah, most things are. I'm just trying to shelter in place, stay out of my face.
Yeah. Well, listen, now, I hope you have some time, and if, whenever you share whatever you want to share, if you would allow me to maybe gain from you your insight and your perspective on this sheltering in place, the curfew, the pandemic, the government's response, the way the world is rolling. If that's not what you're going to be talking about at some point, if you have time, could I ask your perspective?
Well, I have some, I guess, some thoughts on that, but that was what I called about in actual fact.
Okay, well, start with what you call about, and then if you have time and you are able to, I would listen. Yeah, man.
Okay.
All right. Always good to hear from you.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir. And it's been a while, but here we are. I note that you had a caller on prior to you going to the break and getting back to your calls.
Yes, sir.
And I think it was Pastor, is it Rob?
Oh, sorry, Pastor Torrance Bob from the Ministers Association.
Okay, yeah.
He's from the First Assembly over by Crew Road. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, Sterling, first of all, I want to say, because you know my position as far as religion and a belief in supreme superstitious being goes, I don't subscribe to that at all. And it just behooves me to hear all of the rhetoric about believing in God and we got to put our trust in God. And no one, it's as if because the virus hasn't affected me personally, I can go ahead and praise God and thank God for me still being alive and being healthy. But then I forget about all of the thousands of other people that are dying from this virus. And I forget about all of the thousands of people that are on ventilators and can't get ventilators to try to keep them alive. Where's God in all of that? What God do they have to thank? And what God should they thank? And why do we have to make our focus more on science? We have to put our reliance on science, and that's the only solution to this whole pandemic. Is what our scientists may be able to do, and they're just other humans. Why are we looking to some make-believe entity in the sky somewhere? Why? And why is the Cayman radio station being constantly used? Because I have to tell you, Sterling, it does not go unnoticed to me that you and the radio station violates your disclaimer every day when you say that you don't want anyone calling in with any false information or any how do you have that any misleading statements or false claims. And every day everybody's calling in there talking about God and talking about Jesus with no proof of that, no evidence for that, and absolutely seeing every day that there is absolutely no God to do anything for us but us to do it for each other.
So, and I hear your perspective, and I'm glad, encouraged by your passion, your conviction, the faith that you have, that desire, like I said, the conviction and courage to certainly share publicly, your perspective. Now, with respect to Cayman specifically, and Radio Cayman in particular, and my public sort of confession and profession of what we see and understand as God, the Creator, and and the like. To your mind, not seeing it, not being able to touch, taste, and actually test this existence. Maybe if I could ask, and again, I always learn from you and certainly invite you because it helps us to maybe be either, but if we were to put our trust in man only, and as you said, man of flesh and blood, and sometimes our hearts are, maybe guided by other things. Would you not think some conscience, a godly spirit to do good could help to maybe quell whatever arrogant, contemptuous, sometimes even malicious intent that may harbor in a man's heart? Again, let's just, for the example, let's say that we have, this pandemic, this virus, whatever this thing is, and there's somebody somewhere who can either A, use his science, his knowledge to create something good to help people, or B, just do a little tweaking and make it even worse, but for the presence of this conscience, this godly spirit. Do you think praying for the good as opposed to, just allowing the bad, do you think that would hurt?
But where is the proof of this spirit of this God? Where is the evidence of that? What is that? What is a spirit, Sterling? What is a spirit? Let me explain to you what my definition of a spirit is and what
Yes,
my
sir.
definition of a soul is. I have a spirit, but you know what my spirit is? My spirit is the blood that courses through my veins. My spirit is my blood. My soul are my deeds, the deeds that I perform on this earth that I will be remembered for. There are thousands of many famous people that have done very much good for humanity. And the only thing that we have to remember them by are their deeds. There are thousands of people who have done terrible things to humanity, and the only thing we have to remember them by are their deeds. That's their soul. My
All right,
spirit
man.
is my blood, my soul are my deeds.
The one good thing that I think we can, sort of celebrate here is, at least in Cayman, hopefully a willingness to be respectful of each other's, perspective, and hopefully in that way get each other to understand, where we are, what we're doing, and how we can be mindful of each other. I always enjoy, the opportunity to hear from you. I know we have a break in some other callers, but is there anything else you want to share with us before we do so?
Well, as far as us being Caymanians and all of this other stuff, my big I guess problem with our government is the fact that they use religion to control the people. They use religion to control the people.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. Well, I hear you, and as as I listen to you, I think back to the high school I went to. There's a scripture there as our motto: "Hold fast that which is good." I look at our national airline. We have it there. I look at our constitution. I look at our motto. I look at those things, and maybe we're not the nation of Israel. Maybe we're not like the U.S. and their founding fathers, as we understand from their history, embedding a lot of these things in it. But I hear your perspective, and maybe this is a continuing discussion, and maybe it's one that would cement somewhat, perhaps even more so now because of this particular ordeal that we're experiencing, to draw closer. But always like your courage, sir. All right. All right, we'll chat again with Mr. Dexter some more. Let's quickly pause though, and for our other callers, well, Miss Susan will patch you through right after the break.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up to date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
Like most of you, I'm at home with the family. We're cooking more, washing more, spending more time on our computers, and the air conditioning units are running more than normal. If I keep this up, my electricity bill will remain high. I'm signing up to MyCUC on www.cuc-cayman.com so I can monitor my daily usage. I need to be in control of how much electricity I'm using so that I can manage how much money I spend. Some things need to unplug in this house, and we can't run this AC all day, you hear?
Home, which should be a haven, can even be less of a safe space during curfew if someone is experiencing child abuse. If you or anyone you know is being abused, help is nearby. For emergencies, call 911. They will redirect your call to the relevant agencies. For general guidelines and inquiries, call the Multi-Agency Safeguarding Hub, MASH, at 1-800-534-2273 or 945-0545. Alternatively, email mash@gov.ky.
Hello, Cayman. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out. Shelter in place. Stay home. Stay out of Johnny Public. Una got it now? If Una want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information: the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Caymankind.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. Now we have a couple of calls online. Hopefully, let's get them before we go to the break. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hi, Sterling. Good afternoon.
My good friend, good afternoon. How are you today?
I am very, very thankful and pleasantly blessed.
Amen, brother. Amen.
I'm reminded of Matthew 17, verses 20. And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you.
Amen.
We have a lot to be thankful for in Cayman, a lot to be thankful for. We're going through, this is a pandemic around the world. I believe there was 184 countries, if not more by now, that was affected by this coronavirus. Look at us in Cayman. The Lord has been very, very good to us here. We got one deceased that came here with it, and we had, I think the chief medical officer said yesterday, I think we had 70 new cases, or I might be wrong. But whatever the situation is, we don't have nobody incubated with this disease. I believe that prayer and fasting shall break the bands of wickedness.
Amen.
We had the pastors, Pastor Alston Banks, calling upon pastors to pray. 72 hours of prayer is what he was calling for. And I believe that was fervently done. And as such, God has once again come to our side, come to our aid in these trying times. And I am all I can say is what an awesome God we serve. Because hadn't it been for the wisdom that He giveth unto mankind to do the research, the necessary research to combat any sickness that come upon us. It's not by chance that man decided one morning he was going to wake up and build cars, or that he was going to make a vaccine. It's by wisdom that has been derived.
All knowledge is God breathed, right?
Exactly. I will never kill somebody for their beliefs. I have mine, and they're strong, very strong. So I leave you with that today. Take care, my friend, and Godspeed.
Godspeed, man. Blessings to you. Well, maybe you can take one more, Miss Susan, before the news. Good afternoon. Welcome. Hello, good afternoon. All right, 1-800-534-8255. And we have the news break, Miss Susan. And when we come back, if the callers join us. All right, so go to the caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
Hi, how are you?
I am thankful to God. Listen,
Amen.
this is Angel caller from Northside, and I know you very good. I believe in the Lord, and thank God for Jesus. He raised me from the grave so many times, and I can tell the man or you or anyone what God can do. Make me tell you, without God, we're nothing. We can get nothing. The doctor, I was a doctor boy, but they can do nothing without Jesus' help. Within the last days, and they must realize what's coming upon us and what on our soul. Listen to prayer. Moses prayed. He got a medal. Oh Lord, have mercy. Joshua prayed. The sun stood still. His enemies fled on vales and hill. Hannah prayed. God gave her a son. Solomon prayed for wisdom. He got double portion. Elijah prayed for rain. He got, Daniel prayed, the lions. Job was killed. The leopard prayed in Jesus, cleanse him. How much more do you want to see? We're in the last of the last. I wonder what happened. If this can catch my phone, you can't hear nothing that you should. But I want to tell you one thing. I had an old Uncle Ben that's gone, and he said, the worst is yet to come. I might die, but my words won't die. And I want everybody in the Cayman Islands to realize we're in the last days. In the book of Revelation, the little song says, read about the tribulation. We are headed in that direction. Only Jesus' blood can give protection. I thank God for Jesus, and I've been isolated home. This is going 6 years. It's just one way. When I get out once in a way, that I go hospital. It's a rare thing. I never get such a pleasure. But I want to tell you one thing. The isolation is nothing to me. I thank God for it, and I thank Him.
Yes, well. If you're there and have a quick second, because I'm wondering about us, the younger ones, 5th to 4 to 3rd to 20, even younger. In this environment, we're so exposed to technology that is there a fear that we're not understanding the power of prayer and not looking at what, our ancestors did? So as Ms. Conley reminds us, maybe that question is something that we as parents and ourselves in that generation can look at. All right, we're going to pause and take a break, but invite each and every one of you to share your perspective. 949-8037 or toll free if you wish at 1-800-534-8255. When we come back, we'll share a few WhatsApps with you as well. So please join us after the break.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have on island.
Your voice, your choice. For today's biggest news.
Access.
Local, regional, international, this is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom team.
Today's biggest news.
A second repatriation flight from Grand Cayman to La Ceiba, Honduras next is already full. Cayman Airways says the airline is limited to carrying only 76 passengers per jet flight due to social distancing strategies for seating on board. The second La Ceiba flight, KX3882, is scheduled to depart Grand Cayman's Owen Roberts International Airport on Friday, May 8th at 12 p.m. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. France is encouraging people to cycle to keep pollution levels low once lockdown restrictions end. Under the $21.7 million scheme, everyone will be eligible for bike repairs of up to €50 at registered mechanics. The funding will also help pay for cycle training and temporary parking spaces. And 5 of online retail giant Amazon's foreign websites have been placed on a blacklist by the Trump administration. Its e-commerce platforms in the UK, Germany, France, India, and Canada have been added to a notorious markets register. The U.S. Trade Representative's office said the sites facilitated the sale of counterfeit and pirated products. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up-to-date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walker's Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Radio Cayman News.
In a historic move, legislators changed standing orders so Parliament can operate virtually.
If we are not willing allies of change, then we're going to be left behind.
That flight will bring in a UK military team to assist on security.
These measures will provide immediate and much-needed relief to both businesses and workers.
Radio Cayman, your official source for Cayman's COVID-19 response. Hear it here first.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. It's open line. A quick reminder that the press briefing today is at 3 p.m. If you were watching it yesterday, the Honorable Premier reminded us the Cabinet will be meeting today. He sort of teased that there are going to be some interesting things coming as of next Monday. So I guess Cabinet has to put his rubber stamp on that. But hey, why don't we join in celebrating the 97th birthday of Miss Vivian Smith of Camelback, better known as Miss Vivian Smith. This is a special birthday greeting from all your nieces and nephews, from your grandnieces and your grandnephews. Wishing you a very fabulous day and thanking God for a very long life and hope you'll live to see many, many, many more. So, we celebrate with you as well. All right, good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Blessed and thankful. How about yourself?
All right, well, how are you keeping?
Hey, keeping strong, blessed, healthy, hopeful, positive, encouraged, courageous.
That sounds good. Dwayne, I was calling to find out if you would hazard a guess as to why our gasoline prices are hovering between $4 and $4.60 a gallon. Diesel is at $4.40. Do you know why that is?
Well, recently, I believe as recent as yesterday, Off-Rig put out a publication that says, it takes a few weeks. I guess it's kind of the bank's excuse, the interest rates go down in the U.S. and then 5 seconds later they put them down, they don't adjust them if they go up.
Man, that is the height of actual ridiculousness, and Off-Rig is totally impotent as a department. I don't know why they're not disbanded and some ministerial person takes that job and really run it the way it should be run, because we are being ripped off as a paying public. Years ago I took a public march after getting about 14,000 signatures, even though many people had signed about twice, so that's why the numbers were so high. But people were fed up. That's why they were signing it so much, I guess. But, at that time I did so much research, and it still holds true. What these fuel importers are doing, they're buying cheaply on the spot market, which, of course, everybody, that's where they have to buy. And then they take that same cheap fuel, transship that to what they call profit centers around the Caribbean region, put those into storage tanks at that cheap price, and then when we order our fuel, they then go back to those same tanks and they buy it from themselves at an inflated, an artificially inflated price. And that's the kind of prices that we're getting here. And when we try to tell them that we want to see their cost invoices, they say that's proprietary information. And if we dare try to force them to show us the real prices, they will sue the government. And the government is deadly afraid of them suing them. because they want to see what the real cost prices are. So now we are caught in a between a rock and a hard place, because there are many people who say that we should be charging them based on CIF, but with the prices being down to 5 cents a gallon, nowadays if we were to do that, they would probably say yes, let's do that, because now they'll be honest and show the real cost price at 5 cents. They're probably paying less than what they'll pay based on volume, which they're doing now. But really, something has got to be done, because we are really being ripped off. And Off-Reg is talking about they got to wait for a month, 2 months for the fuel to actually deplete. Listen, man, that's total nonsense, absolutely nonsense. And I, for one, as a private citizen and a user of actually petroleum, I'm totally fed up. This has
But let me
got to
ask
stop.
you,
This has got to stop.
yeah, let me ask you two things then. One, in relation to fuel, and then the second in banks. The fuel issue. So whether it's a week from now or a month from now, would you expect that because of, let's say, the argument about the purchasing timeline is true, would you then expect that in some time very near from now, we'll see a significant reduction in the prices that should be over an extended period? What would you expect?
Exactly. I agree with that, but I am giving them only. I have some ideas, as Trump would call it, strong ideas, as to what I'm going to be planning to do, even though we are fighting this pandemic. If something doesn't happen within the next 2 weeks, because the next tanker that comes in here, I would hope that prices fall by about $2 a gallon for everything, including diesel, across the Cayman Islands, because somebody is really ripping us off, and it's a mixture between the importers and the retailers, and this has got to stop. Now, prices, fuel prices are now at an actual level which any little idiot can see that it's at zero. So, there's only a certain markup you can make from zero to make sense. And we're still talking about 300% markup based on cost here at between 300 and 4%. And it is absolutely ridiculous. It's robbery. It's illegal. It's price gouging. All those things, and it must be stopped.
Now, let me then ask then, sort of in my mind, kind of related, in that we appreciate that the cost of fuel affects everything in this country. But let's look at the issue with interest rates and what is happening here. So we saw a little dip here, but shouldn't the banks equally, as much as we would go after the fuel companies, shouldn't we be doing the same with the banks and demanding or requiring, whether through legislation or effective, what's the word you use, strong government action, to see that their practices are better?
Well, they have got to do better as well. Unfortunately, we don't have an actual central bank here that you can borrow money at what they call Fed funds rate in the States, which would then give you very low rate. We do prime, New York prime. But of course, we are charging about 3% over the New York prime to our best customers, which again is unfair. And of course, we don't have any long-term mortgages here, fixed rates. It's just floating rates. But that's a different discussion. But the answer to what you asked me broadly is that the banks' interest rates are also an area of my grave concern, has ever been for a long time, and the interest rates should be a lot lower, even though they have gone down a lot in recent months based on the New York prime rate itself.
Well, let me ask then. I mean, we don't have a central bank, but we don't have either some sort of central agency either that can deal with the fuel companies, right? So with the banks in particular, we see, again, as an example, we see that they have apparently offered to allow their customers in good standing to not pay principal and interest. So capitalize the interest over the next 3 months or whatever it is. Why not just do a pause? We're asking government to, rescind fees. We're asking government to do certain things, but could the banks not equally contribute and say, what, as of April the 1st, we'll leave your mortgage at the balance it is and pick it back up in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whenever we resume.
Yeah,
Why don't
but
we
yeah,
ask that?
but they're not, they're not going to actually forgive anything like that. What we need again is an actual oversight arm of our government. We're and sadly, and I may get in trouble for saying it, but as we're getting into an area where we need to perhaps consider some price controls on actually selected industries because they are unable or are unwilling to behave themselves. For example, the banks should only be loaning money based on what the cost of funds is. All the banks here, primarily, unless they go into the market for LIBOR, which is only over $1 million, are not going into the market for funds. They're getting the funds from savings or deposits from clients, and they look at that and extrapolate it and know how much they can lend based on also capital reserves and stuff as well. But cost of funds must be the factor that they use to say this is the cost of funds, and I'm going to add on 1.5% above that as my margin, and that's going to be my lending rate. What they do here, they base it on the New York Prime and then tack on 3% or 2% above that, and they call that their lending rate. It doesn't have no semblance based on cost at all. Same thing with the fuel companies, but I think more so the fuel companies, I am leaning towards price controls for them because they have proven time immemorial that they are unwilling or unable to be transparent and reasonable with their pricing structures, and they are price gouging. They are making hundreds of millions of dollars here on this island, and the traveling public is the one bearing the brunt and getting, for the use of a better word, ripped off.
I hear you, but as you lean towards the fuel companies, maybe the argument could apply in the same vein to the banks. But listen, I always engage in these kind of discussions, but the boss tells me, remember the break now, yeah. So I gotta remember who's in charge. All right, my friend, we'll chat again.
Bye-bye.
All right. To our listeners, join us after the break.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up to date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
Start getting your debt under control with a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank. At Fidelity, your loan decision is quick with no runaround. Plus, with competitive interest rates and fees, we will help you reduce your monthly payments and get you back to living again. Don't let the burden of overwhelming debt tie you down this year. Call Fidelity today and let's make it happen with a Fidelity Bank debt consolidation loan. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Hello, Cayman. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out. Stay home. Leave Granny alone. Darling child, I mean we can't be visiting our old people because they're more compromised. We gotta keep them safe. Anna got it now? If Anna want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information, the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Caymankind.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you for joining us. It is open line. Let's go to our phones. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm all right. I'm fine. And I hope you find you.
All right. I'm having a little challenge hearing you. It's a bit of an echo. Is it on speaker or any reason?
No, it's not in the speaker. You hear me good now?
Okay, much better now. Thank you. Thank you. No. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, Dwayne, there is a couple of things I want to say. The first one, the issue happened with the journalist and the press briefing. I think, in my personal opinion, that the journalist was too personal when she, bring a personal life of a minister to a public issue. And I think if my wife or your wife or anybody's wife went to exercise, that's permitted by the law. And I think it is not broken the rules. It is from the rights of any human to exercise for their health. And I think the matter, we need to stop this politics and playing politics in times like this. I think the reaction of the minister was normal for me, because anyone would bring my personal life to the public, and my family life, I would be angry. And I think the minister is busy doing his job as Minister of Health, and his profession is not the health, but he's doing a good job so far. And I think I'm not here to defend him, but I am here to clear and say the truth about the picture. And this website, Cayman News Service, I stopped long time reading that website, listening to anything from that journalist, because that woman have some poison in her head, and that website poison the head and the mind of the people of this country. And I encourage anyone not to read that website anymore. The second thing, Dwayne, I would like publicly, during this difficult time, to thank the Foster Supermarket, Mr. Woody Foster, for the organizing of this issue of buying food, and the way how they offer bring everything everybody need in this country. We don't find anything empty, no shelf empty in the supermarket. I think it was very good customer service, very good professional workers, and I think we are happy today to have Mr. Woody Foster as chamber president. He done a good job, and he is doing a good job. The third thing, I would like publicly to thank the Honorable Premier Alden McLaughlin and every member of cabinet for their hard work, the governor of this country for his hard work, for what they've done. And they protect us during this difficult crisis. And the measures they take and the steps they take, it was in the right direction. You know me very well, Dwayne. If there is anything wrong, I will criticize anyone, from the governor to the premier to anyone. And they know very well I will not scare to criticize them. But today I'm here to thank them. And the last thing I want to say, where is Dwayne, those charities in Cayman, what they was doing? They're collecting millions of dollars every year from the Caymanian people and resident alike. And where is those charities, what they done? And where is the money of these charities being spent? And why it not spent in this difficult time? And also, I am questioning and asking, where is the money? Those churches every Sunday and Saturday, they are collecting from the people of this country. Why I don't see a dollar being spent during this difficult time? Those money being collected by the name of God Almighty. Where those people, where the money of God Almighty being spent? You preachers and you responsible about the churches in this country, where you gone with the God Almighty money? Where you spend it? You spend it in cars for the preacher, or buildings. Buildings don't benefit any human. And those charities and those churches need to be accountable in front of God and spend the money in this difficult time, so we all can come out from these difficult times. I am not saying this to criticize the holy place, the church. I am here to criticize the unresponsible people who manage the church, unresponsible preachers who have no fear of God Almighty. And I hope God Almighty, you have an answer to God Almighty when you face, all of you preachers, when you face how you spend the poor people money of this country.
All right. Well, certainly, appreciate your sharing in that. Some other point, we'll maybe ask you more about, the government's perspective and performance and your own sort of points. Anything finally? Appreciate it very much, man. Have another caller? Yeah.
Yeah, just the pension issue, Dwayne.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think, Dwayne, I hope the government be careful with opening the money transfer when they open this pension thing, because a lot of people will send this money back home and they end up without money, and the problem will be more precedented. I think we need to slow down opening those money transfer. I think for a month or a month and a half until the economy be recovered, because it's danger for the economy. We take the pension money so we can help the economy, but we are not helping the economy. We are sending it overseas, and I am against opening the money transfer. What your friend was speaking about, the prices of gas, the solution is simple, is opening a new or allowing new companies to offer gas to this country, allowing a new company open to anyone to bring a gas station to this country, bring gas to this country, and compete in the prices, and the prices will go down. And the same thing go for light, for water, for anything else. Thank you, Dwayne.
Thanks very much, man. Thanks very much. And with that, we can take another caller whenever we're ready. It is open line 949-8037, or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon again, Sterling.
Welcome back again, man. How are you?
I'm getting better every day.
Already.
But I needed to respond to you a few callers ago. I guess you had a couple callers call right after me to, berate my call or myself. But in any event, I would like to to ask those people who, in my opinion, are no more than self-appointed defenders of their beliefs, and no more than that, because their beliefs is no more than they agree with what somebody else told them. I refuse to take it on that face value myself. So what I want to say is, for me, I would like to offer this to this community. My personal opinion about God and Jesus and churches. A church is a perch where perverts prey on little boys and girls every day. For human sake, Jesus is fake. God is a fraud. My personal opinion. If you believe God did, you've been defrauded. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Now, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. If you wish, you can send us your thoughts on the WhatsApp 925-3261. Let us share with you this WhatsApp that came through, and it was in relation to the banks and the like. We've received a couple similar to this. As part of the reason why we sort of ask the questions in the comments in relation to the banks, because a number of you, like one shared with me, don't necessarily want to be as public with the sentiments. But this one says, President, have a construction loan with the bank. You're trying to build and finish your house, but the bank has not offered a break on the loan, as they say that it's not yet a mortgage, it's still a construction loan. However, the bank has informed us that once we have received the certificate of occupancy and a valuation on a completed house, then they will treat it as a mortgage and give us the break on the payments. The certificate of occupancy is being processed this week, hopefully, but with the current circumstances, I don't know, I think I'll be able to get the valuation. Currently out of work, so I don't have the income to pay the loan. Also, on the same loan, the bank is holding a significant amount of money, but will not pay out until I get the certificate. I just want to be able to get the break on the payments during these difficult times. I still have outstanding payments for April, and May is approaching. Now, without a job, this is a big strain on us. All right, and we recognize that this is the challenges that a number of people are facing. Thanks for sending that. Let's go to the phones and pick up the other caller. Good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon, Jay.
My friend, good afternoon. Hope you guys are well.
Yeah, okay, man.
All right. Glad to hear from you, man.
Okay. There's a gentleman that called in about his disbelief in God. I would like to know what God did to him. That he has so much hate in his heart towards people that believe in God. How can you hate something so much and not believe in it? That's my question to him. And for him to say, you all are using Radio Cayman for religious, people using it for religious purposes. I didn't hear anything wrong the gentleman was speaking to you about before he called in. The gentleman that was speaking about Christianity. God has shown me personally in my life that he is real, and his son Jesus Christ is also real. So it doesn't matter if a person tries in any way to make me disbelieve in God and his son Jesus Christ, it will never happen. But for him to be calling in on the radio station and showing so much hate towards God and towards people who believe in God, that is something he should keep to himself. And if he continues doing it, on Judgment Day, he's going to be in serious problem. And let me tell you something about eternity. There's eternity in heaven, and there's eternity in hell. And eternity isn't 3 million years, and then you come out. Eternity is forever. So when you go to hell, you're not just sentenced to hell for 3 million years, and that's it. No, when you go to hell, that's forever. There's no end.
All right, man.
So when you disrespect Almighty God and His Son Jesus Christ, who came here on this earth and suffered the way that Jesus did, and Jesus only did good, you know. He only did good for us. And the people still turned around. And when they said, who do you want me to free, Barabbas or Jesus? And they said, free Barabbas. And the Jews said, let his blood fall on our children and our children's children. And that is what caused so many Jews to die in the Holocaust. When 6 million of them were killed by Hitler. That is the reason they were killed. Because they brought that on themselves. Thank you very much, man.
All right, man. And we'll take the other call. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Doing number one, you think, sir?
No, Mr. Ezra, say you're number 2, man. How that happen?
No. You don't go using it as a word. Now listen, I know that them MLAs teaches you things, but you don't walk in that footstep. Otherwise you're going to be in trouble.
Okay, sir. Okay.
All right.
Since he's not here, then I'll listen to you.
I hope he's listening. Hey, I just want to say something with a man calling, but there's no God. I wonder if he's walking with one of the, in his pocket with one of the devil hot rod. I would like to see when somebody like him disappear, and then we don't have to hear all that stuffiness over there. Tell him he must tell God that he can't move him, and then sometime, you know, we may wonder what happened to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we just keep people in prayer, keep each other in prayer, but we're sort of keep, our own perspective and, through our own actions, endeavors, our own words and own prayers, be concentrated on how we are perceived so that we are conscious of how we present ourselves to others,
Except for nothing because I'm nothing, so I ain't worried about that. I just want to say something like that for him to say. He must have got mental problem.
No, man, it's, the relationship with God is in just my personal view, is a personal one. And I think things transpire in our lives, in our history, that sometimes may put us in a perspective, but it can all come to good in the end because we get a chance to see things. And maybe with great respect, maybe it's, it's about us trying to be better witnesses. Because with the greater respect, sometimes you've seen it yourself, I'm sure, the behavior of us in the church, whether it's us as the pastor or the regular congregation or the elders, sometimes the behavior of us on the other days that we're not in church can cause many people to look and question, the Christian ethos that we sort of profess, you know. But thank God for His mercies and grace, right? So for those of us who believe, let's continue to be in prayer for each other and for our own salvation. Right, sir?
Pray for him, including you.
No, I very much appreciate prayer for health and wisdom, for knowledge, for understanding, for a presence of mind. I can tell you that there are times when it's frustrating to see leadership, whether it's political leadership, civic leadership, leadership in the church, leadership in education, leadership in the homes, abuse their positions of authority, to use it to profit at the expense of others. Because I think that those are the kind of behaviors that are unchristian, ungodly, and they're not to be encouraged. But what is even worse than that sort of abuse of power and position is when the rest of us see that behavior and we either turn a blind eye to it, or we somehow draw alongside those people to see how we can benefit, from that sort of, abuse of position and power, as opposed to, deal with it. So it's unfortunate, and then we quickly condemn and criticize others, but fail to realize that we ourselves have committed even more egregious, acts. But we don't see that. We always see what other people are doing.
Yeah, well, all I got to say is anybody don't believe in God, not going to sense it. You have a good day, okay?
Yes, sir. You too as well. Okay. All right. Well, with that perfect timing, we have a break schedule. When we come back, hey, it's more open line. Who's going to be calling? Stay tuned.
Start getting your debt under control with a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank. At Fidelity, your loan decision is quick with no runaround. Plus, with competitive interest rates and fees, we will help you reduce your monthly payments and get you back to living again. Don't let the burden of overwhelming debt tie you down this year. Call Fidelity today and let's make it happen with a Fidelity Bank debt consolidation loan. Fidelity, we're good for you.
For nearly 20 years, Kingsport Center has been the heart of the Cayman fitness and wellness community. In order to ensure the welfare of all, we are temporarily closed until further notified by the Cayman Islands government that it is safe to reopen. During these trying times, we encourage everyone to maintain a healthy lifestyle, mind, body, and soul. We look forward to continuing providing you with world-class service in the very near future. Remain strong and continue to show the world the power of Cayman unity. Kingsport Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Staying home has just got a whole lot easier. Cayman Spirits has now launched a new delivery service, offering free home delivery of hand sanitizers and face masks. When COVID-19 struck Cayman, Cayman Spirits answered the call, repurposing their facilities to produce hand sanitizer during the island-wide shortage. Now that service is coming to your front door. Search for the Rum Runners in the App Store or visit rumrunners.ky to place your order of hand sanitizer and face mask. Free delivery with purchase of $50 or more. rumrunners.ky by Cayman Spirits. Hashtag stay home, Cayman.
Hello, Cayman. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out. Stay at home. Stay home. No gad about it. Stay your backside home. Una got it now? If Una want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information, the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Caymankind.
Are you a Caymanian experiencing unemployment or have recently been laid off? Are you already registered with work but need to know what jobs are available or how to post job ads? Contact Work today. Call 945-9672 or toll free at 1-800-534-9672 or email worc@gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
And good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us. It is Open Line as we invite you to call and share your thoughts with us. Remember, the daily press briefing, as the Honorable Premier referenced yesterday, is going to be taking place at 3 p.m. So they say, what is in a name? Others will respond, nothing, but Mighty name of Jesus. Let's go to the phones. Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yes, Sterling. I appreciate you allowing me to call back to defend myself, and I hope that caller that wish me dead is okay. But I've been this way for more than 40 years, and it's not. This is nothing new to me. My belief or lack thereof is nothing new, and I don't understand why people think that just because you don't agree with what they believe in is that you deserve to be. I just deserve to be eliminated.
No, man. Let's I hear you, and let's, if you would allow me, let's move it forward. I'd asked you earlier if you had time, and again, if you do, if you have time, give me your perspective on the government. You to give us the pulse. Do you think, how do you think they're doing? But first, what do you make of all of this? I mean, I know you shared earlier. Uh, what's your view on what we're doing?
The government uses religion to pander to the people. That's what the government does. It uses religion to pander to the people because that's what the people want to hear.
I lost you then, but
And I'm sick and tired of the government and of the government acting as if they put all of the needs of the Caymanian people in the hands of God. So therefore, if nothing happens, then they're not responsible. We absolve ourselves of any responsibility because God is watching over us. And if He doesn't want it to happen, then it doesn't happen.
Yeah. No. Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. It is perhaps the thing, but anyway, as you shared, maybe we can be civil and respectful of each other's perspective, and maybe, as the scripture reminds me, by our actions, where their fruits ye shall know them. All right. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. For those of you who have either been very closely watching, this thing unfold around the globe, for those of you who may have the courage and now the conviction to weigh in as to, well, what is this country doing? Should we do that? Or maybe we should be mindful, that we don't do that or don't do that just yet. A caller prior was sharing his perspective relative to the opening of the money transfer businesses from the perspective, that others have shared likewise, that the premier reference, we need to make sure the physical distancing can be, maintained. But what is your thought on any of the proposals that may come forward, on many of the things that we're seeing other jurisdictions, including Bermuda, talking about implementing in short order? We don't know yet. We hope to hear more information. There's a lot of speculation and conjecture. If you want to, well, go right ahead. I'll certainly listen. But for now, do you think that it is time now that we get back to business? And do you think it's, well, wait a minute, we've come this far. Let's give it a couple of more weeks or months to see where this is at. What is your view? Do we go in this direction, or do we continue on this path? Do we take a complete U-turn? Well, let me hear what your thoughts are. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255, and you can share your thoughts with us. Now, I must share that a few have said that, perhaps the government to date may have some of the best experts and expertise to hand, but as a public, being unaware, generally speaking, of what the government intends, what sort of plans, and I was trying to recall how one individual, how she shared her perspective, basically what the government is looking at in terms of the information in order to make the decisions that it probably will be making going forward. Should more of that be in the public domain much sooner? I think if we watched the press briefing yesterday, the premier picked up a document and very cheekily shared, well, this is obviously not a document that I would have had prepared uh, just a few hours ago. This is a document that we've been working on for an extended period. And I think many of us would expect and would certainly believe that there is a lot of work ongoing behind the scenes as to the way forward. The lady's perspective, as she sort of, I think was very, very deliberate in trying to convey. Now, like many, I've said, just call and share your thoughts. Like many, she said, nope, because they'll focus on who's saying it and not hear what it is that we're trying to say. But she was sharing that if we were to share these things with the general public more frequently, so that the daily press briefings can be more about, well, what is it we're doing and what is it that we would like to do, what we're thinking about doing, as opposed to how she sees it. So perhaps the public can buy in and see it and understand that we're not just trying to be safe in terms of our health and well-being, but also cognizant of the challenges that lie ahead. She shared, for instance, that in response to one of the questions, the Premier said, "Listen, this is going to get worse. This is going to be tough." And she said she likes that. Other people may not, but she likes that. I think I agree with her. Well, let's go to the phones and join your other callers. Welcome. You're on Talk Today. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you today?
Not too bad, sir. How are you, panel?
All right. Appreciate
I'm just briefly calling for just update. Why the garbage truck man? I appreciate the work what them done, and I take off my hat for them. But my concern is just I want to see them in their mask, cause I mean I don't want to get hurt, cause if they get hurt, my garbage can't take up, and I just dedicating to see how they're working so hard, 3 o'clock in the morning, then 4 o'clock. But I just want them take the heat more harder, put on safety gears, cause it's just your health. You don't want to go home to your family, but know you're collecting all of that stuff outside which smells so bad, and then you're not protecting yourself, and then whosoever garbage you take up gonna be safe, all right, and you're gonna be ill. That's my concern, and I really appreciate what they're doing, and I thank you for your time and patience. Have a good day, sir.
And to you too, sir. And thank you for showing your gratitude and publicly reminding us that we need to be grateful for all the efforts of others. All right, let's go to the other line. Good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Good
Hello, good
afternoon.
afternoon. How are you today?
Afternoon. Not bad. I have an idea that, all I hearing over the radio, the talk shows and whatnot, is finances and money this and money that. Nobody's talking about food. If we're chopped from the U.S., what are we going to do? We're not planting anything. We're not doing no agriculture, but only the small man that's doing a little bit of here and this and that. But I think now that we need to concentrate on putting some food in the ground, because you cannot plant today and reap tomorrow. So it's the Bajan, I tell the Trinidadian, take your rice out of my meat, or take your meat out of my rice, because he got the relish of his meat, but he could eat his rice. So I think now that the government, as soon as they can give a okay for whoever can farm, go around, seek where the suitable agricultural land is, talk to the landowners, and see if they can get some food put in the ground. We're in this, my belief is, for a long haul. Our borders are closed, and we're not, I don't know. My thing is put food in the ground, because if you get a piece of breadfruit, a cassava, or a sweet potato, you can always try and catch a grunt or something and relish your pot. I come from the old school where it's called survival. I know how to survive. I'm trying to teach some of my grandchildren how to survive, how to plant, how to raise cows. I run cows, so I do own quite a amount of land. And I feel sure if the people in government starts to seek around and see where they can get land, whether it's Eastern Georgetown, Bordentown, or whatever that is suitable for agriculture, let them put food in the ground. That is my thought for today. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing, sir. Very, very wise input. Continue to be safe, and hopefully we'll hear from you when you get a chance again. Let's take another call, though. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good
Hello,
afternoon.
good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Giving the Lord thanks.
Amen.
I just want to share the thought
Um,
that
if I may, excuse me, if I may interrupt you, if you're on speaker or somewhere, I'm just challenged to hear you now. Are you on speaker by chance?
no. I'm going to put it on speaker because it seems as if my phone is not working properly. So let me just
Okay.
put it on speaker.
No, let me don't put it on speaker. Let me listen even more closely. So don't put it on speaker, but go right ahead. Okay, you're there? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you hearing me better?
I am indeed. Thank you.
All right. I'm just going to share a little input there. And if not throwing any word or anything, just it is, but what does a walk with God actually entail? How does God want us to live? Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be open your ears, impress them on your children, talk about them when you sit at ease and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Deuteronomy 6:5-7. And just a quick word is that not many people or persons get in contact with God on a one-to-one basis. So there will be a conflict right there. And it's for us who are children of God not to cut them off or to say anything bad about them, more than let the light be a light in our life each day, and with what God move us from, protect us from, and help us how to overcome, will teach them how that there is a God and how to love Him and to get in contact with Him. Amen?
Amen.
And that's just my word, is that may our life be a light shining all through the night, help struggling ones to the pole. And this is my few words. So I understand what the gentleman was saying before, but I believe the veil is not removed from his eye as yet, and he will learn one day, because sometimes God corner us in order to get our attention, so that we can know that there is a God who sits high and look low and protecting us throughout this pandemic situation. In all things, give Him thanks.
In all things good, thanks. Thank you very much for that, and let's keep praying for each other. All right, let's take one other call. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, thanks to you, sir.
Oh man, very blessed and thankful indeed.
That's a wonderful blessing. Thank you too. Just a quick, I don't know how you go. I was speaking to a friend of mine in New York on Sunday regarding the COVID-19 pandemic that the whole world is experiencing. And she was giving us some references. She said, she thinks that it's just more than just a regular virus, like a cold, a natural cold. Because, the whole world has had cold. We have a cold every season. We get a cold come in. And I'm not saying that we don't lose people, because people die. We're not saying different from that. But she's saying, just New York, for instance, she wonder if it's not really something to do with the 5G network. And maybe that might be why Cayman doesn't have it, the bad debt tolls and stuff like the high debt tolls like the rest of the world has, because right now we have not rolled out this 5G network. Because she said, for instance, she was going to send me where she found to, but she said in December.
You're there? For
Yeah,
instance,
I'm still
yeah, okay. I heard for
here.
instance, then you lost you. Mhm.
In December, or just before the Christmas, when Germany had rolled out the 5G network, she said there were pictures being shown on the globe where they were finding birds dying in Germany that was so unusual. And then after that, we got the outbreak of this coronavirus. And like a gentleman was saying, he said, he was looking at the statistics out of it, and the places that where got more 5G networks is the places that got the highest death tolls. So I'm wondering, if we could probably, as the whole of us, look into it. Maybe that might be one of our great things that God has spared that we have not rolled out ours yet. That maybe we could look at it and say, well, should we go there, or are we going too far that we can't turn back now, to what we got? Because so far technology has been wonderful. Has brought the whole world in the click of a button. So it's not like we're not getting communication, but should we bring out something worse now that is going to kill off? If we rolled it out now in Cayman and we notice a high death toll, are we going to blame it on a virus now? A virus break out again, or rather than saying that it's man technology that they're doing?
Something to consider. All right. Listen, respectfully, we have the news, we have some other calls, but let's do the news break first. Please stay tuned.
Your 2 p.m. headlines brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
For today's biggest news. Access. Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom team.
Today's biggest news.
Congratulations are in order for UK's Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who along with his wife Kerry Simmons announced on Wednesday the birth of his son. His Excellency Governor Martin Roper Wednesday joined in congratulating the Prime Minister.
And given everything that the Prime Minister has personally and his family have gone through in recent months with COVID-19, that really is wonderful news.
According to a BBC report, Mr. Johnson, who has just recovered from coronavirus, was present throughout the birth, and a spokeswoman for the Prime Minister and his partner have said both mother and baby are, quote, doing very well. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, officials in Kentucky say 4 children were killed and 1 is missing after their horse-drawn buggy was washed away while trying to cross a stream. The Amish family of 6 were crossing a low-water bridge when their horse was swept away by the current, police say. As of today, the National Guard and state police are still searching for the missing child. And the technology giants of Silicon Valley are among the few winners from the global pandemic. Their share prices are holding up or even surging ahead as investors bet they will come out of the crisis even stronger. But COVID-19 has also shone a spotlight on 2 tech tycoons with radically different attitudes to the battle to control the virus, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Your 2 p.m. headlines brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up-to-date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
And good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. It is open line. Now remember, the news briefing, the daily press briefing is at 3 p.m. today. The Premier reminds us that the Cabinet was meeting today. All right, 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037. Hey, let's go to our phones. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You know, I can picture you now just smiling, but always so pensive. And just hearing your voice just lights up this room, man. It now looks like the sun is coming up again.
Well, I tell you what, it's beyond a smile. I'm grinning. If I didn't have ears, it might wrap right around my head.
Ah, your joy is wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. So, Dean, how are you?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you
Oh,
at all?
I'm doing great. I'll share with you that I'm a kind of person that I like my quiet space, you know, so I can get to think. But I love being around people. I like my independence of movement. I really don't like this nonsense that making you feel like you live in a police state. And when you go somebody asking to see your ID, you know, I personally that don't work for me. That's why I don't live in a communist country.
Right.
I thought I didn't. How about you?
Well, you know what? That part of it is really minimal for me. You know, I have no problem with, show my ID. I can live past that. And I understand why they're doing it,
Why?
But I'll tell you where, I have several concerns, but I just thought I would share two today.
Yes, please.
And
Yes,
and I
please.
really, really hope that the powers to be would think about this and take it from our point of view as to how it's really affecting us. And I'm going to say these not necessarily in an order of priority, but just the way I wrote it down.
Yes, ma'am.
This thing that they got going on with the banks. You know, I've been asking, other people have been asking, please revisit this situation, reconsider that what is going on is not working in any way. I was most surprised to find out last week, my bank notified me that they would not be doing any wire transfers. Now, I don't know if that's just outgoing funds or incoming funds. I don't know because that would affect me very much. I'm not sending money off the country every week or every month. However, my income comes in here by wire transfer. So if that's going to stop, then that's a major problem for me. That's just one part of it. The other part of it is just having one location open, and then they're having a skeleton staff. The phone number that they're giving you, it is not working. You're having everybody from the island go to one location. It is not the social distancing. It's impossible to work. You got to stand up out in the hot sun for hours and hours, and then you get to the door 12:15. Oh, we're not letting anybody else in. You know, to me, it just makes more sense. If they want to insist that it's going to be one location only, then extend the hours. I mean, if they work till 5 o'clock, they'd still get home in time to beat curfew. As I said, they need to think about how it's affecting us. There's not every transaction you can do at an ATM machine. They're not all of us who do online banking. I don't do online banking, and I don't intend to do online banking. I chose not to do that when it started, and I'm not going to start now. So obviously, I'm old school, and there are things that it's just not working for me and for many other people. When I think of our older citizens, you know, like up in East End, Northside, Boston, and stuff, who have no access to a computer, and probably even if they did, they don't know how to use one. How are you going to force these people to do online banking? Why are you forcing these little people to get up, to come down to Cayman Bay and join a line for hours and hours, and then they might not get through? Anyway, I would really, really like them to reconsider the system that they have in place, and before they jump to open money transfer centers, consider the banking system that is in place and how it's affecting us. Those of us who live here, those of us who are citizens, we're not work permit holders. Think about us and how this is affecting us. If they want to stop wire transfers for another reason, then discuss that with the bank and tell them why and who it is that they're targeting so that the bank can sort that out. But don't cripple people like me, okay? So the other
If I
thing...
can, yeah, go right ahead. No, I was going to ask you about the wire transfers, but you go, the other thing, you go ahead.
No, go ahead about the wire transfer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did the bank, I don't want any personal information, but the bank said to you why they don't doing wire transfers, whether in or out, because a wire transfer is an instruction sent electronically. They don't need to take the money in cash and carry it to your people in Timbuktu. So
obviously, I'm sure you know that when you set up a bank account, you have options as to how you want to give instructions. You can have by telephone, by email, or in person, or online. And as I said already, I chose not to do online banking for my own reasons. You know already, I'm a banker. And I know the risk involved there. That was the reason I chose not to do it. And I will not do it, for the record. I will not be doing it. And as far as the notification that they would not be doing any more wire transfers, like I said, I am not sure if this is both incoming and outgoing. That is something I need to get more information on. But I was making an inquiry on doing an outgoing one. And this is to pay something overseas. Obviously, I would have done it by bank draft and put it in the mail. The people would have gotten it. I can't do that. Or up to that point, I couldn't do it. So I was just trying to think, how can I take care of this? So I said, you know what? Let me check with the bank and see if I can do a wire transfer then. And then that was the information I was given. And because I was more focused on trying to get the payment made, yes, I neglected to ask the other questions surrounding it, which I will do. Right. And I'm having to, tap into people who are not even physically at the bank to assist me. Because when you call the numbers they give you to call, no one answers. You could sit on the phone all week. You're just going around in circles. No one is answering you.
Before, worse now, right?
Exactly. Well, I mean, to be fair, I did not have that problem with my bank before. I don't have a problem calling the name of my bank either, because I've always praised them. But at this time, it is not working. Just not working. So, as I said, I would really, really like them, to sit down and revisit this whole situation and take a step out of the fence, look at what's happening inside, and ask themselves, would I want to be there having to go through that? Isn't there a simpler way we can do this that it can work for everyone? Because I do believe if they opened another location, and let's say we have the eastern end of the district, go to that location, they can keep the alphabet system, and then Cayman Bay then could service Georgetown and West Bay. You would have less crowd at the location, the one location, so you could control the distancing better. And if they are going to be adamant about having just one location open, then consider extending the banking hours, Anyway, so that's my gripe with the thing with the banks. And then I also have a concern, not for me personally, but for people I communicate with, and that's mental health. I don't hear anybody talking about mental health, about any preparations for the people that are mentally breaking down, not because they don't have food or not because they don't have money or not because they're out of door, but just because this is something new and not everybody can deal with the same thing with the same strength and at the same level. And at the end of this, we're going to have a lot of people with nervous breakdowns. we're going to have people dropping dead from strokes and heart attacks and aneurysms and so on, because it's a stress factor. I'm not a doctor, but I've been through enough to understand health issues. And I've spoken to enough people that are expressing to me what's bothering them the most. I've been sending in a question for weeks, asking to ask the panel, could they bring Dr. Lockhart on and have him talk to the people again, just, to maybe soothe their feelings, encourage them, things they can do to get through this. Anxiety is very high with a lot of people, and I can say this straight out. I called Woody DaCosta on his talk show there, and I asked him to bring Dr. Lockhart on his show, which he did last week. And let me tell you something. The thing, I watched it on Facebook, and the questions were flooding with people with major concerns, not just for themselves, but people who have special needs children that they're now having problems with because that child is out of their natural environment. They're not used to being, home locked up. Some of them are on medication. They're having a problem medicating them. And, of course, this is all new to the parent, having to manage the situation now themselves, whereas before the child was in an institution where they were getting the proper assistance. And apart from that, as I say, you have the other people who have underlying illnesses, and, the anxiety levels are just too high, and they don't know how to cope with it.
Yeah, and I hear you, and I think this is on a personal level. You asking how I'm coping. It's one of the reasons for years now with Dr. Borden, we've been having this monthly mental health matters, and since this pandemic, we have had a lot of shows, almost on a weekly basis, with her and others in the field talking about this issue because, as mental wellness and health has to extend not just your physical but your mental health. I think it was Tuesday we had Dr. Borden together with the NDC on helping us to understand that we need to look at our behaviors and not ignore our health. And she's always very, very mindful to reference the resources that are available, including the free resources that government provides through the counseling center and the like. And I'm glad that you're sharing this because I think one of the things, if I may, when we're asking how, and I deliberately say it because I don't think that we appreciate how, for some of us, we can be home inside of our little cubby holes at our offices or in our own homes, and it's not an issue. For others, they need to be out and about, getting the fresh air, getting the toes in the sand, taking a dip in the sea, being able to move. Just the notion that they're being deliberately, even if it's temporarily restrained, that could be, destructive to their health,
I'm not sure if I'm disconnected from you or not.
Okay,
Are you hearing me?
I am indeed, yes.
Okay. No, I just wanted to say I called Dr. Lockhart's name simply because, he's the person that I heard in the beginning who was coming on the shows and sort of trying to prepare people for what would be coming. And one of the things he always said, it is going to get worse. He kept preparing people for that. And, I like to listen to him. He has a very soothing and calming demeanor about him. And, when he speaks, he's very candid about what he says. And, there are no false promises there. He don't tend to know how to remedy every situation. But, certainly his advice is very, very effective. And I know that, the people who were listening to him last Wednesday, I know they would like to hear some more from him. And, for the people that I advocate for, I know some of them were listening also. And, I would like if it could be on a regular basis that, he, Dr. Borden, whomever we have, in that capacity could continuously come on and speak to people because this area is being overlooked. I don't know if they realize just how serious it is, because when your mental health breaks down, then that's a serious matter. Forget about physical health. That's already gone. If the mental health is gone, the physical health is already destroyed. Okay?
And I appreciate that. And again, as we were sharing, we've definitely been very grateful to continue the partnership with Dr. Borden in particular. I know she has, some ads sort of running, some good advisory tips. We have a number of PSAs right on Radio Cayman. We've had, just on Talk Today alone, a number of shows, and we're going to continue to do that because the importance of mental health, I think, as you shared, has been ignored. But thankfully, we're starting to, locally, but certainly globally, but locally start to appreciate how beneficial it is to have these discussions, to have therapists, counselors, to go to a psychologist to talk, because it is, like you said, if you're healthy mind, you'll have a healthy body as well. Really appreciate it. I just have one quick comment to ask you.
And just to say that, at this time, with the anxiety levels rising, these people need help. They mightn't necessarily have needed to have a counselor and stuff before, or to be on any kind of medication. But there's always something that's going to trigger that. And we know that trauma can come in any form. This is a form of trauma for a lot of people. So it's now affecting them mentally. Doesn't mean that they're crazy. Doesn't mean they have a mental illness, But it is affecting a lot of people mentally, whether they realize it or not. It could be one of the reasons, and I'm not trying to make any excuses now for anyone who's been breaking curfew, but it could be a reason why people are determined to break curfew, because what they would normally do when they are pressured and, stressed on, that's been taken away from them. And I guess to try to maintain that balance, they're willing to take certain risks,
Yeah, that's it. I hear you. All right. Well, listen, forgive me for asking you to leave us there.
That's fine. And thank you for allowing me to say that. And like I said, I hope that someone is listening and they will realize that there's a lot more needed, a lot more needed said.
All right. Hey, thank you. And I hope you get through the stuff. If not, maybe if you can pay it by credit card, see if that works for you as well.
That's not going to work. I've tried everything, believe me.
I figure you have. All right. Well, let's pause. And when we come back, more Talk Today.
Staying home has just got a whole lot easier. Cayman Spirits has now launched a new delivery service, offering free home delivery of hand sanitizers and face masks. When COVID-19 struck Cayman, Cayman Spirits answered the call, repurposing their facilities to produce hand sanitizer during the island-wide shortage. Now that service is coming to your front door. Search for the Rum Runners in the App Store or visit rumrunners.ky to place your order of hand sanitizer and face mask. Free delivery with purchase of $50 or more. Rumrunners.ky by Cayman Spirits. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman.
Hello, Cayman. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out. Essential staff, police officers, immigration, customs, doctors, nurses, first responders, they are essential staff. So if you got to ask, then you ain't. Una got it now? If Una want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information, the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Cayman kind.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, a quick reminder, the daily press briefing has been scheduled for 3 p.m. today. So if you're tuned in and you haven't heard it, it's not because you missed it. They have it set for 3 o'clock today. And the Premier shared at the briefing yesterday that Cabinet was going to be meeting today. He hinted at some changes that are going to be going forward as of Monday in relation to a number of things, perhaps allowing more activities in the business sector. Who knows? Maybe they'll get wise and do some more things with relation to our movements and the like. Well, give us your thoughts. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. The last caller, I hope that we take on board, all of us, how important she was stressing our mental wellness is. So get outside, get some sunshine, get some fresh air, get some exercise, play some games with your friends and family, talk, and certainly reach out to the counselors. There is a 800 number for mental health that was set up by our mental health unit. I'll try to find that so I can share it before we close out. Well, let's go to the phones though. Good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
All right, 1-800-534-8255. Hey, good afternoon.
Can you hear
How
me?
are you, sir? I can now. How are you?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon. You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling. I'm new, first time I'm calling, but I'll be brief. I just wanted to mention the caller that seems to have a little problem with the Word of God. I think it's real appropriate to remember those kind of people in prayer. I just wanted to say that if he's listening, he could search up Paul the Apostle. I remember when Paul the Apostle was on his way to Damascus. The Word of God said that he was on his way to Damascus to destroy the Christians. Yes, he was. And he was struck with a light. At that time, Paul believed that he was Christ himself. But Paul then recognized, because he said, "Who art thou, Lord?" Jesus said, "I am Jesus, the one that you're persecuting." He said, "Paul, it's hard for you to kick against the pricks." He said, "But you rise up. I have something for you to do." These kind of people, I believe, as stern as they may seem to be, I still believe that God has something for them to do. And until they come to their senses, in which, if he's on his way to Damascus, then the same thing could happen. So let's just pray for those kind of people, that God will shine a light that they will see and turn their life over to him completely and do his will, instead of trying to fight against the church. I thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing. And for our listeners as well, one of our listeners sends a message through saying that, one of the banks in particular had stopped doing the wire transfers about 2 years ago, and now you have to do it yourself online, where the fee used to be about $35 at the teller, but now it's about almost $80, if his recollection is correct. It's, as I look at a couple of these other comments from our listeners in relation to the restrictions that are in place, the seemingly challenges people are having in their financial sort of transactions. This particular individual says, for a country that was once touted, as sort of eminent within the financial services sector, may still be on a global scale, but is woefully lacking when serving the local populace. The message continues to read that when it comes to being able to open accounts locally, transfer funds between banks locally, and engage in transactions from the local perspective. It's appalling. Not the service. The staff, for the most part, are not just friendly, but it seems that it's the policies. Now, a couple of other words in there, the way it's phrased maybe implies less than stellar comments, but I think the sentiments perhaps are being echoed by many. And for what it's worth, I can borrow what this last message shares, that the staff are probably doing their very best, ordinarily, and in particular under these trying, conditions. Maybe it is time for, and I'll just put this in to reinterpret what I think the person is sharing. The management to put in place some better policies to ensure that, as a community, we can transact our financial affairs much more, efficiently, conveniently, and perhaps cost effectively. All right, 949 8037 or 1 800 534 8255. I want you to share your thoughts with us as you choose. I invite you to come tomorrow for more discussion. We're going to have an opportunity to speak to some reps from the Chamber of Commerce in relation to their recently concluded economic survey. If you haven't seen it as yet, have a look on the Chamber's website and go through it. We'll get a chance to speak to Mr. Biles and Mr. McIntosh in relation to that particular discussion. And hopefully, as we get an opportunity to listen at 3 p.m. to the government during the 3 p.m. press briefing today, maybe we'll see good things going forward. But again, in the sort of encouraging words of the last caller before last, when she was reminding us to please, pay close attention to our health and wellness, and not ignore the mental health of ourselves, our loved ones, our children, our elderly parents, our friends, and maybe taking from the discussion on Tuesday with Dr. Borden, as we were joined by NDC's Simon Miller, together with Ms. Sutton Burke, talking about the notion that we have to be mindful of how we are, sort of modeling our behavior. Are we, drinking just for so? And what is this whole issue that we're doing, and how it's affecting and impacting our behavior? Now, an excellent resource that the government's sort of information team has been putting together, a website that you can use. Please go online to gov.ky/coronavirus. There's a lot of information. There are questions and answers that sometimes don't get asked or answered at the press briefings, but there are lots and lots of helpful information. So if you have a family member who isn't as computer savvy as you in a household, share it together. Certainly, if you can call and maybe go through it and go over it with your other perhaps less computer savvy family members, then do that. So that's gov.ky/coronavirus as a resource tool to use. All right, join us again tomorrow for more talk today. Our first discussion is going to be about the recently completed Chamber's Economic Survey. Now, we got some interesting things in store for us next week as we finalize all of those particulars. But Monday, being the first Monday of the month, we will have our monthly mental health matters. And I like, how we're making some adjustments. And you're going to like, I think, what Dr. Borden has in store for us come Monday. But that's Monday. Let's start off with tomorrow. Now, remember, the daily press briefing is at 3 p.m. So just stay tuned here to Radio Cayman to make sure that you're in tune and informed. And hopefully, through that, you become even more engaged. Until tomorrow, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile. Saving lives today.
After all that talk, sit back, relax, easy.